Hi everyone, we're going to show how our website BuyMe works. Let's start with logging in to the user. Okay. Now, as a user, you can either be a seller or a buyer. Let's see how do you sell an item by clicking on the items view. These are some of the items this user has already listed. But let's say we want to add a new item. Okay. Let's try to sell a vehicle, a car, a Honda City, it's petrol, and it is manual transmission. Okay, so we submit it, go back to the home page, go to the view item tab. We see that we have a new item in list. Okay, we can also delete an item. Let's say we try to delete an item. Okay. Maybe 9. So now we have removed the same item we just added, and it has been removed. Okay. We can also start an auction. Let's say you want to start an auction for one of the items that are already listed.
So I'll quickly add a new item because all these items are already on auction.
Okay.
And I can start an auction by listing the vehicle ID, the category IDs, subcategory IDs, car, item IDs, pen. So suppose that I list the starting time as say 10:35 p.m., which is 4 minutes from now, and I set the closing time for 10:40 p.m. and I set the initial price for say 5,000, increment price of $100, and the seller can also add a minimum selling price, which is optional, and say I set it to 5,500. The other users cannot see it, and if the highest bid is less than 5,500, the product will not sell. If it is more than 5,500 or equal to 5,500, only then this car will sell. So now the auction has started successfully. You can see it in future auctions. It will start at 10:35.
So we have placed the start time very close to current time, and the close time is very small window because we want to show if somebody wins, how that shows as a notification to the user. Okay, till that happens, let's go back to see other things. For example, you can update an auction. Okay,
So like I have a current auction. I suppose I want to update this current auction. I will enter the auction ID and say I want to update the closing time. Right now it's 30th. I want to make it May 1st at 10:30 p.m. And other parameters I want the same. So I'll just the auction has been updated successfully, and as you can see, the closing time has changed to May 1st.
Yeah, one thing to notice when you update an auction that is already running is that you cannot change the initial price because people have already started to place bids, and you cannot change initial price then. Okay, if you want to remove an auction, the user themselves cannot remove an auction, and they have to raise a query to actually do it. Okay, and only a customer representative can remove an auction. Okay, for an auction that is listed for the future, the user can change all the parameters of the auction. Okay. Okay. So now let's go back and try to see the user's view, the buyer's view. Okay.
So I'll just quickly log in another with another user ID.
Okay.
So as you can see, these are all the available items, and I can add to wish list. So I added this. So this item was added recently, and I added to wish list. So item has been added to wish list over here. And whenever this item goes on auction, this user will receive an alert. I can also filter the items based on various criteria. So suppose I want to filter based on, say, the make of the car, and I want only Honda cars. So I'll just type Honda in the brand, and all Honda cars have appeared here. Similarly, if I want to suppose see the black vehicles, this one is a black vehicle. And if I want to see the say the petrol cars, so these are all the petrol vehicles. These include cars, bikes, trucks, etc. And I can also clear all filters. All the items will then display. So as you can see, I had added this Honda City to wish list, and this user has received an alert that this item is up on auction from 10:35 to 10:40.
Okay, so now that you have gotten a notification, let's say this buyer wants to bid for this auction. So let's try to place a bid on this. Okay, so here in this view, you can see all the live auctions. You can also see the auctions you have participated in the past. And if you scroll down, you can also see all the bids that have been placed by this user for different auctions. Okay, but let's say for the new item added, we want to place a bid. Okay, and so this is auction number 19. Okay,
so I place a bid for auction number 19 for, say, 5,100, and I click submit. So the bid has been added successfully. My bid is over here, and the current price has been updated to 5,100, which was the bid I just placed. One more thing I want to mention here is that we can also view similar item on auction in the previous month. So suppose this bike is currently on auction. I want to view other items, other bikes which were on auction in the previous month. So this is another bike which was on auction in the previous month, and it was sold for $510.
Right. So here the similarity index is very simple. We have only looked at category IDs and subcategory IDs. As you populate more items in the database, one can also implement more complex similarity indexes, but we have not done that. Let's go back to see some other things that we have implemented. Let's go back to.
So now, like Archit had placed a bid for $5,100. Now I will log in with some other ID, and let's start an auto bid for this person for the vehicle Honda City. So let's enter the auction ID 19, and let's set an upper limit of, say, 5,500. I submit, and the auto bid has started successfully. I go back, and a bid has been placed for 5,200, which was 5,100 plus the increment price of 100 in the name of SSG 128.
Right.
And now I again go back and log in with some other ID. Suppose Archit had placed a bid, and since Shaaleen's bid was placed more than Archit's bid, so Archit has received an alert that a higher bid has been placed for $5,200.
Right. So now Archit can actually change the bid or enroll for a higher bid if they want to.
So now I want to place a bid of for say $5,300 for option ID 19. 5,300. I submit. The bid has been added successfully, but since Shaleen's has an auto bid, his auto bid of 5,400 has come up, and now Archit will again receive an alert that a higher bid for 5,400 has been placed.
Okay, so it's about time before the auction actually stops. So if
So I can do one thing. I'll just increase the time a little bit. I'll increase the time by 3 minutes. Okay, so now we have more time to explain.
the user, the seller can also see who is winning the current item.
Right, so as we can see that SSG 128 Shaleen Garg is winning with $5,400. And now I log out, and suppose I log in with some other ideal, say Gerasimos, and he also wants to buy that particular item, and he also enrolls in AutoBid. So I say AutoBid option ID 19, and he sets an upper limit of say 5,600. So the AutoBid has been started successfully, and
So now the selling price is 5,600, winning by Gerasimos.
right, and since he has his AutoBid is more than Shaleen's AutoBid, so he will be winning, and Shaleen SSG 128 would receive an alert that someone bid more than your upper limit for option 19.
Right. And they will also see that a higher bid has been placed and that amount is written in the notification. Okay. Now, while we wait for the user for the auction to finish, we can also show how to raise a query. For example, this user wants to raise a query.
So quickly, I'll just say I log in with another ID of how, and he places a bid for the same auction ID 19 for say $6,000, and now 6,000 is winning, but he realizes that he doesn't want to place that bid, so he can raise a query to customer ID that please delete my bid for auction 19. And here we can see that if a customer rep logs in, he will see and he can remove the bid for option ID 19. This is the bid which he wants to delete, and he says delete top bid. So now this has been deleted. So now the current winner would again be Gerasimos, which can be seen by logging into the seller's account, that Gerasimos is winning with $5,600. And the auction is about to end in 1 minute. In the meantime, we can also see that we have a page for FAQs, where we can search different frequently asked questions. And I also have a search functionality. So say I want to know how to pay after winning an auction. So I just say pay, and all the queries, all the questions which have the keyword pay appear here, and I can see like I can pay with credit card, PayPal, etc.
I think the bid has finished.
Yeah, so the bid has finished, and the bid is now in a past auction, and Gerasimos is the winner. And since the selling price is greater than the minimum price which he wants to sell, so the item will be sold. But as we can see in a previous auction, the minimum selling price for set by the seller was 2200, but the highest auction was of 2000, so it wasn't sold to anybody. The winner was null. Now we'll again go to Gerasimos's account, and we can see that he has received an alert. Congrats, you have won auction 19 for $5,600. So we also have the admin login. The admin can create accounts for customer representatives. I have already created 3 accounts for customer representatives, and he can also view the sales reports.
So for a given for sale reports show total view of the website, so we can see the total earnings done on the website with all the items sold, total of all items sold. So here it is $11,000. You can also see earnings per item, how much each item was sold for, and they are listed by the selling price. One could also see the earnings per item type. So for example, you have a truck sold, car, and a bike. Those are listed in different forms. So if you have multiple cars sold, they would be added here in just one entry. Okay. If you look at earnings per end user, that would show the number of the total earnings done per per seller. Okay. And if you want to see the best selling items, that would also be listed by the selling price. Okay. One could also see the best buyers who spent the most money on the website. And so here in this case, it is Gerasimos who has spent $10,000 on the website. Okay. Go back and log out. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you.